What's going on YouTube? For today's video, I thought I'd give you a lure review. And it's actually on one of the new lures that just came out from Japan. At least I think it is. It's a new company to me at least. It's Teckle lures. It's the lure called the Goodpecker. So, hope you're actually ready for some new stuff. Because this thing, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this. So this is going to be a quick review video as well as just some other little thoughts and whatnot of it. So if you're ever interested in it, I would definitely pick one up, or 3 or 5. I'd actually definitely pick a couple of them up. You're not going to be disappointed, so stay tuned. So first off, let's take a listen and see what this thing sounds like in the water. That's actually pretty dope. I like the way that sounds. Yeah, I actually really like that. So if you can't really tell too much, what's happening is that there's not a whole lot of like back and forth. It's kind of swimming like a wake bait, just going back and forth. But it's also got a very kind of aggressive roll to it. And then that blade in the middle is just making that thing sound absolutely amazing. If I didn't have that stupid fire truck driving by. Yeah, that sounds really good. I like the action of it too. Even with a little bit of wind, that thing is very, very pronounced and loud. And I'm not even reeling this fast. So this is the Tatula 200 in the 7:3 ratio, but I'm not actually, with the handle, reeling it all that quick. I think this is one of those baits that's kind of like a whopper plopper. You just kind of figure out the right speed to get the right action, the right noise for the fish. But I like this thing. It actually does sound really, really good. Yeah, that thing is super loud. And I love that body roll. So because of how I have this bait rigged, I can't walk it very well. Out of the package, it comes with 2 size 4 hooks. And I'm assuming that they're just your standard factory grade hooks. They didn't look the best. I mean, they looked like they could be able to handle a couple fish, and you'd be able to fish them right out of the backs if you need to. But I would definitely recommend changing the hooks out. And something that was told to me is upgrade the hooks to a size 2 instead of a size 4. Now, I didn't have just plain standard like ST36 size 2s. These are the ST41s, so these are the 2x strong hooks. And that might be part of the reason why I can't walk this bait very well. But I also know because of the blade in the back, it is going to hinder the walking action of it a little bit more. Now, if I go slow with it, more pauses, little quick rod twitches, and allowing it to have some line so it can actually turn, I can walk it a little bit. But honestly, I'm probably just gonna fish this just like I would a plopper. Just throw it out, reel it back, throw it out, reel it back. But like I said, because I also fish for stripers, that's why I upgraded the hooks to 2X's. I kind of don't assume that a 20 pounder is going to nail this. But at least something like 5 to 10 pounds, I don't want to just break the hooks off right away. But I am really loving this bait so far. Would like to be able to catch something with it too. That would be nice. Just right now I don't have the best fishing conditions. I've got dirtier water than normal. The shad are all like an inch long, if that. So any of the bass that I've been seeing, they've been targeting the little ones and throwing a bait that's like 5 inches. Probably not the best option, but I still wanted to give it a try. And first impressions, I'm absolutely loving this thing. Now, kind of like a whopper plopper, it's not, there's not a lot of body action to it, right? The body of the whopper plopper really doesn't do anything. It's all in the tail. And this bait is a lot of the same thing. The lure itself, the stick bait itself, is not doing a whole lot of action. Yeah, it's waking on the surface, which is actually really nice. But most of it is the clack and the flash from the blade. All right, so let's actually take a look at the lures here. So the one that I have in my hand is the Chartreuse Shiner. Personally, I really do like this color. It has the transparent finish, right? It's the clear plastic, but it has the little film foil, the little stickers on the inside. So as this thing is doing its belly roll, it's flashing a little bit on the side. So the fish is normally just seeing this, and then it's flashing, 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 flashing. I think that looks really cool. And it gives a little bit of the chartreuse on the top. However, this is, personally, I'm gonna just use this more as like a cider, but I do love the way this particular color looks. And then the blade. This is the big selling point for this. And I mean, look at the blade design. That's actually really unique. It's like an Indiana style, because it's on the longer with the one side being a little bit fatter. But then it almost like, more or less like, what is that? Like a club? Yeah, it kind of looks like a club. But I think that's absolutely amazing. And they come with ball bearing swivels for the center hook holder. Just makes that thing spin forever. And the way that this thing actually ticks on the lure is it doesn't come all the way to the back. It seems to hold like right in here somewhere, but all it's doing is it's ticking the sides. Like, it's coming up and just hitting the back end of the bait here. So you'll probably see hook rash there after a while, or I guess blade flash. Now, one of the main reasons to upgrade the hooks to a size 2 as opposed to a size 4, what comes in the box, is that blade can impede the hookup ratio on the back. And if it per se gets caught up in the front here, that can also help impact setting the hook. So upgrade to size 2s. Like I said, you don't have to go to any sort of heavier style hook. This is just what I had, and I fish for stripers. But overall, this thing is actually really dope looking. Oh my god, I wish I had put the camera on just a few seconds earlier. That legit just got hit as soon as I threw that out there. By the way, this is 20-pound test. And this reel hasn't been greased in a little while. And that still throws forever. So one thing that I have noticed with this bait, just like a whopper plopper, it has a specific speed that it likes to swim at for probably what would be like the peak performance for the loudest clack. Because with a whopper plopper, if you reel it too slow, you kind of lose the bubbling, blooping sound like it's known for. And if you reel it too fast, it just gets too high pitch. And that's kind of what I'm noticing here. If you reel it too slow, the blade just simply does not make connection with the back of the lure, and then it just doesn't tick. And if it does, it doesn't really have that more high-pitched ticking to it. And then if you reel it too fast, all that blade is doing is it's just rubbing up against the lure. It's not ticking like it's supposed to. So it's kind of like a moderately slow retrieve. Now, like I said before, this reel is a 7:3 gear ratio, so you'll probably just want to mess around with whatever reel that you have to see where you actually get the right speed. And then also, you're gonna have to take into consideration how the fish want it that day. Because I mean, obviously this isn't gonna be a bait that you're gonna throw all day, every day. If they don't want it, they don't want it. Oh, of course. I don't have the camera rolling. There we go. Not bad. Well, actually it is terrible. It's so small. Love your ambition though. So just like your typical topwater bite, don't react to the explosion because you don't know if they actually took it. Not bad. Kind of big for him. All right. Little guy. And he's gone. Well, that was dope. Definitely wish I was recording, but I had been recording for like 10 or 15 minutes already with nothing, so wasn't really expecting anything to happen. Oh well. Sorry it's not a cast to catch, but the lure works. I will say it works. Am I happy for my investments? Yes. So I'm just gonna go out on a limb here. Just from what I've been seeing, on a windy day like this where there is little to mild chop on the water, this is actually doing really good cutting through and still being visible. Like, even with all the disturbance on the surface from the wind and the ripples, I can still see the wake of it, and I can still hear it. And this lake isn't the cleanest either. There's maybe 1.5 feet of visibility, and it's dark water, so that doesn't help either. But probably on those windy days, a little bit more tough conditions, water's a little bit dirtier, I would say that this would probably be a good option to try throwing out if you do want to try to get a topwater bite. It's loud, it's obnoxious. It really does make a lot of ruckus on the surface. So I would not be surprised if this turns out to be a fantastic lure on maybe some different pressured waters. If you've got windy days, water's a little bit stained, I would definitely look into getting something like this, especially if you like topwater as much as I do. And I didn't really finish my statement earlier. For a topwater bite, regardless of whatever it is that you're throwing, a frog, a spook, this, what are you again? Goodpecker? I always want to call it a good woodpecker. Anything that's a topwater lure, don't ever set the hook on the initial strike. The fish may just be trying to stun the bait. So don't ever set the hook just because you see the explosion, just because you see a fish committed to it. Because that doesn't mean that it has it. Set the hook when you feel the resistance of the fish, when you feel it turn. With a smaller fish, that might be an extra second or two. Or you might have to wait to see that the line's actually going out. Even if you're reeling straight in like this with another sort of wake bait or a crawler, set the hook when you feel the resistance, when you feel the weight of the fish. Don't just set it because, oh my God, it exploded. No. Especially if you're new to this, you're gonna miss 9 out of 10 bites if you just try to set the hook immediately. And you might have a new piercing. I apologize in advance if I have to do an outro video at my house. I have a nasty monsoon storm coming in from behind me, so I'm probably gonna have to be putting the camera away here in a minute. I'm probably gonna be heading home, but if I can, just some last minute things here. I love the lure as a topwater. I love something new, something different for just a straight retrieve stick bait and not like a pencil popper. This thing makes so much noise on the surface. And even with wind and everything like this, it still creates such a massive V-wake on the surface. And it's loud. It's louder than all hell. So if you are interested in getting any of these, I definitely would recommend it. Get out of my crotch. I'm gonna put the GoPro away now, because I smell rain.